Good afternoon, dear students. We were dealing with the chapter Biotechnology and its applications, and we have come to the end of this chapter. So, at the end of the chapter, we have a small topic, that is ethical issues. Because when we were studying this chapter, there we came across the word GMO, genetically modified organisms, and today, as a part of biotechnology application, DNA of many plants and animals is manipulated, and these organisms whose DNA is manipulated are called genetically modified organisms. But manipulating the genes and DNAs of organisms may have many harmful effects. So that's why this creating genetically modified organisms all the time not permitted. So there should be a regulation on creating genetically modified organisms, and which is that authority which has control over GM research and creation of genetically modified organisms. Such points are briefly discussed under this ethical issues. Here I have written some important things which we have to remember. First, it starts with GEAC, stands for Genetic Engineering Approval Committee. So I repeat, every student should remember, GEAC stands for what? Genetic Engineering Approval Committee. So before this I was telling you, and who is that authority which has regulation over GM research? So students should remember that authority name is called GEAC, Genetic Engineering Approval Committee. So it is the authority which has the regulation over what? Validity of the GM research and safety of genetically modified organisms. Because when a genetically modified plant is created as a part of genetic engineering, when that genetically modified plant is introduced into public sector, so how far it is safe, whether that genetically modified plant having any harmful effects on the public health and on the ecosystem balance, etc. So all those things are under the control of what? GEAC stands for Genetic Engineering Approval Committee. So it is the authority which has regulation over what? Validity of GM research and safety of genetically modified organisms in the public sector. Okay, so next, coming to one more word I have written, that is biopatent. So patent is nothing but official authority or authorization on some product. So as we are talking about biotechnology here, so there are many new techniques developed in genetic engineering. So that new technique developed by a scientist, and that scientist should have official right and authorization on that particular technology developed, and such things come under what? Biopatent. So patent is nothing but taking official authorization on a product or a technique used in biotechnology. Okay, so like we have studied test tube baby technique, which comes under biotechnology application. We have studied like BT cotton. The scientists who developed this BT cotton, so officially they will have authority on that. That is what we call biopatent. Okay, so with this it is very clear, whenever a new technology is developed, officially that person or the industry which has developed that technology should officially take authorization from the government organization. So if any other organizations or persons want to make use of the same technology or the product, they have to take official permission from those organizations which has developed this technique or the organization which has patent on that technique. So that is what we call biopatent. Okay, so coming to biopiracy, there is an important term given. Once again, important 1 mark question. So what is biopiracy? It is very simple. Usage of bioresources by whom? By the organizations or by the people or by the multinational companies without proper authorization and permission from the people concerned. So before this I was telling you clearly, for example, a new crop variety is produced by using genetic engineering by a particular company. So if any other company wants to make use of this same crop variety, they must take permission from whom? That organization which has patent over it. But without taking proper authorization and without making compensatory payment, so many multinational companies and other organizations making unauthorized use of biological resources and genetically modified organisms. That comes under what? Biopiracy. So simple, if one more question is asked, what should be the definition? So usage of biological resources by multinational companies and other organizations without proper authorization from the what? From organizations and people who has developed that technology. So if any organization wants to make use of any technology, they must take proper authorization from the people who are having patent, and they must make the compensatory payment for that. So without doing this, if any company makes use of any new technique, it comes under biopiracy. Okay. Related to biopatent and biopiracy, we have given some example in the textbook which is related to that example is related to what? Basmati rice, and we know that Basmati rice variety is very popular for what? It is so popular for its flavor and aroma, as we all know. And in other chapters also we have studied rice, which we have like thousands of varieties, and here it is mentioned there are almost 2 lakh varieties of rice present in India. So India is the rich source of rice varieties, and we all know major food crop in India is rice itself. But today we have patent on Basmati rice by an American company. So an American company has taken patent over Basmati rice just by doing a small experiment that, so they have crossed Basmati rice variety with other semi-dwarf rice varieties, and they have claimed that it is a new invention done by that company, and officially they have taken patent over the Basmati rice. But it is like we can say today in India we have these many rice varieties, and lots of research is going on in India, and most of the rice varieties are developed in India. But officially India should have patent over Basmati rice, but today unfortunately an American company is having patent over the Basmati rice. So this is the best example. So it is clearly given in India there are around 27 varieties of Basmati rice are cultured and grown. So in India we are having 27 varieties of Basmati rice, and unfortunately an American company is having patent over Basmati rice varieties. So if anybody wants to sell this and wants to develop new varieties of Basmati rice, now all other countries should take permission from that American company which has taken patent over the Basmati rice. So with this example it is very clear, whenever a new technique or new crop is produced using biotechnology, immediately the people and the organizations who developed these technologies should officially take patent, because if they don't take patent, other multinational companies and people may misuse it without proper authorization and compensatory payment, which comes under biopiracy. Okay. So today in India is the rich source neem, like lemon and turmeric. Today Ayurvedic medicine is expanding like anything, and you know in most of the neem has many medicinal values in it, and turmeric is very popular for its antibiotic effect. So this turmeric has antibiotic effect, and turmeric is native of India, and neem is the tree which is native of India. So if we don't take official patent over this neem, turmeric, lemon, etc., and other countries if they take patent, and when we want to use neem and its related products, and we have to take permission from those countries and those organizations. So that's why, so these especially in the world, the developed countries, which we say developed countries means industrialization is highly developed there, but all those developed countries like USA, etc., they are not having much biological resources and they are not also having much traditional knowledge. So in the world, the developing countries like India and other countries are the rich source of what? Biological resources and traditional knowledge. So these advanced and developed countries, they are trying to steal these biological resources and traditional knowledge from the underdeveloped and developing countries without proper authorization and compensatory payment. So all these things will come under what? Biopiracy. So that's why every country should be vigilant and every country should be aware of what are the biological resources they have, and officially they have to take patent on it, so that other organization, countries and cannot make misuse of these biological resources and traditional knowledge. So this is what mentioned under this last topic of biotechnology applications, that is ethical issues. So I repeat, GEAC stands for Genetic Engineering Approval Committee. So it is the official authority over what? Validity of the GM research and safety of introducing genetically modified organisms into the public sector. So whenever a new crop variety or a new technology is produced, that organizations or people who developed that technology should officially take authorization over that product or resource, which we call it as biopatent. So utilization of biological resources without prior authorization and without compensatory payment by any organization or multinational company, it comes under biopiracy. Okay, so finally students should remember, most of the developing and underdeveloped countries are rich source of what? Biological resources and traditional knowledge. So advanced countries are trying to steal this biological resources and traditional knowledge without giving compensatory payment to these countries and organizations, and it should be strictly controlled, because all other countries and all other organizations also should be equally benefited. It is possible only when we stop this biopiracy, and it can be done by taking patent over the biological resources and products. Okay, so this is what mentioned in the topic ethical issues. So with this I want to conclude. This is the chapter biotechnology applications, in which we have studied applications of biotechnology in agriculture, applications of biotechnology in medicine, and along with that we have studied a small topic, that is transgenic animals, and in what way transgenic animals are useful. Okay, so with this we have completed 12 chapters. So these 12 chapters are there for your second PUC board exam. Okay.